Hey everybody, Happy New Year. It's Mike back with another episode. Today we are going to take a look at this new from Seiko, what they're calling the Baby Marine Master or the Marine Master Reduced. Don't yell at me, I don't name them. I'm just repeating what they're being called. So this is the Japanese domestic variation, the SBDC127, and I like what Seiko is doing here. I like the direction they're taking, and that they're finally going to some reduced case sizes. So let's run through it. 42 millimeter case diameter, which I think is a big plus. 48.8 millimeter lug to lug, 12.5 millimeters thick with the drilled lug holes, which is awesome. We can remove that bracelet super quick and easy. I think this watch is going to be a strap monster, especially I think it'll be great on a NATO type of strap. Overall construction on this, of course, stainless steel construction, crown at the 4 o'clock, beautiful blue sunburst dial. Let's give you a closer look at that dial. Really like the way the light plays. Seiko does a great job on their sunburst dials. And of course, that classic Marine Master style handset with a wonderful combination of brushed and polished finish. To me, it looks like the indices are slightly reduced. It's not a maxi dial by any means, especially if you compare it to like a classic Turtle. So there's your, and actually this gives you a good size comparison as well. There's your classic 45 millimeter diameter on the Turtle. This is a 6309 made in the mid 80s versus this new 42 millimeter. I really like what they did with the dial here all around. Date window at 3 o'clock with a white date, and I really like the shape of the 12 o'clock index marker there. LumaBright, of course, Seiko's famous LumaBright gives you the great glow in the dark, and of course a really nice touch. You might notice that red and white tip on the sweeping seconds hand there. That to me is very reminiscent to a diver down buoy, which I think is kind of a cool subliminal touch. Really nice stuff there. The bezel here, as I mentioned, has that nice coin edge, very classic Marine Master look. Very, very light. It has really nice distinct clicks, which is good, 120 clicks per revolution. And it is a unidirectional, of course. Doesn't look like it quite lines up though, which is to me unforgivable. And a $1,000 watch, it's off by just a slight bit to the 11 o'clock. So once again, Seiko's alignment issues are back rearing their ugly head. Seiko continues to do what they're good at though. So we have beautiful case and bracelet finishing. You see those very sharp lines there, and that beautiful mirror finish on the polished edges, and the beautiful brushed finish. And the case back here is a screw down case back, very kind of typical. Let's get that focus going here. There we go. So screw down case back, that is the big difference between the actual Marine Masters and this latest generation is the case back. The end links, kind of a classic style end links, nice brushed finish, rounded off there. It does extend the length of the case by just a tiny bit. I'd say probably 0.5 millimeter or so, or maybe 1 millimeter total per side. And then of course, a nice bracelet with taper. Seiko does do a nice job finishing their bracelet, the combination of brushed and polished, and a really nice brushed finish. You can see the center links on this bracelet are very flat. At first glance, I thought the bracelet on this were the same as what is on the newest 62 Mas, the SBDC101, but you can see they're actually different. This is much more of a contoured center link on the 101 versus the 127, which is a very flat center link. The clasp does look the same as the 101's clasp. You have a laser engraved clamshell, twin trigger deployment, stamped outer pieces with machined inner pieces with a combination of brushed and polished finish. And of course the bracelet throughout has nice rounded edges and scalloping, so it'll wear well. It won't pull arm hair. It does feature pin and collar adjustments for length, which we'll discuss in a minute. Movement on this guy is the new generation of 6R series movement, the 6R35. We have a 70-hour power reserve, plus 25, minus 15, and a 21,600 vibrations per hour. What Seiko did is they reduced the vibrations per hour on the previous 6R15 series to increase the length of power reserve. Kind of a good trade-off in my opinion, in that it also increases the service interval. So that's never a bad thing. I think 21,600 is a pretty good spot to be in as far as maintaining overall accuracy. This one is running just a smidge fast. It's running about 4 seconds per 24 hours fast at the moment. I do think that will change as I wear the watch a little bit, as that tends to happen with a watch. Let's take a look at the watch on the wrist. It wears very well. I'll give you a wrist shot here too. So this is my new Omega Aquaterra. We can get focus there. Omega Aquaterra. This is a Seamaster Aquaterra from the mid 2000s. A bit different than the latest version. I actually prefer this one. I'll give you guys a better review on this soon. That's a 39.5 millimeter case size, as opposed to the 42 millimeter here on the Seiko. So the Seiko on the wrist, I have not sized this bracelet yet, so it's a little weird putting it on, but I think you guys will get the idea. It wears very well. I really like the wrist. I really like the feel and fit of the watch on my wrist. I have a 170 millimeter wrist, just in case anyone is, just under 7 inches for those of us that don't speak metric. You can see those nice flat center lengths, and then there's a look at the clasp. I believe it's 18 millimeter clasp. Nice bit of taper on the bracelet. Coming back around. The 12.5 millimeter thickness is really no problem at all as far as the way the watch fits on the wrist. You can see the way that those turn down lugs, as it flops around there, the way those turn down lugs make the watch feel. It's quite nice. Gives the watch just a really nice feeling on the wrist. It really feels like it's sitting on your wrist well. Wrapping it back up, if you can live with the minor snafus that Seiko can't seem to get beyond, I think you will enjoy wearing this watch greatly. And I think it'll make a great overall daily wear dive watch with a very classic and unique style, and without it being an homage to any other brand. So classic Seiko styling and classic Seiko, vertical integration, which is always nice. They do everything from the ground up, one of the few brands that does. And that is something that should be noted. So really nice presentation from Seiko, a few minor flaws, something to consider on your next purchase for sure. I'll give you guys a longer term review on this in a month or so, once I have some wrist time with it on. All right, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Happy New Year all, and we will talk soon.